Nate's got a good one. How important is it for influencers to stick to trends on TikTok? Does that make a big difference in campaign success? I don't think it's that important, but what do you think?
I think it's important if it's important to the influencer, right? So native content makes sense. And then like take that a step further, right? You want to make it native to that influencer. Never force an influencer to do something they're not comfortable with or that they're not naturally already producing with their audience. So you got a trendy product and you got a trendy influencer you're working with. Obviously, having something do something that's trendy, right? But don't force trends on influencers that don't want to do it or haven't done it in the past, because it's going to come off as forced and inauthentic, and it's going to flop.
Right. It's also good, I think, for like content. Like there's just something else to think about, that there are reasons, there are good arguments to be made to having your influencer content be like somewhat evergreen, so that you can leverage it in other ways. Like ideally, you're putting in your influencer contracts that you have content rights, and those content rights you can then use in ads on other platforms and on TikTok. And if it's doing really well for you, you certainly don't want it to have an expiration date. So it's just another thing to think about. Like the more like dated your content, the content your influencer makes is, like, or locked or gated to a certain time period, the less playability that it has in an evergreen way.
That's a super great point. And I just want to add to that, because this comes up on almost every conversation that we have, is brands are always like, hey, should I buy the content? Should I work with a bunch of influencers and get 6 months or 3 months? Like, what licensing term do I want? And what you have to keep in mind that when you ask for content licensing, just like you ask for a professional videographer or photographer, the longer the term that you're licensed, the more they're going to charge you for it. So to make your budget go further, the most budget-friendly strategy is to not get any content licensing at all. So go out, work with your 5-10 influencers, look at the performance of that content. And then you're going to have like 2-3 pieces of content that you really love. You can always go back to the influencer or content creator afterwards and then negotiate the licensing with them. It doesn't have to all be done up front. And you actually, you go back to them, hey, I want 3 months of licensing rights added to the contract for that content you made for us. And they'll be like, sure, throw me a few $100 and we'll make that happen. It's not a big lift. So then you just saved yourself 9 times $300 on the other 9 influencers that you didn't, right? You just saved yourself $2,700 of your campaign by negotiating it after the fact. So that's the kind of stuff to keep in mind.